Joel trusts everybody now. Tyrese trusts everybody. Tobias trusts everybody. There are so many depth pieces. For once, there's too much depth on this team. For years, everybody said, let's get a bench. We need more shooting. We need more wings. It's like now there's guys fighting for minutes. Like, how did you bring this to life, this system of everybody just kind of buying in, but more so, just having all these guys, like, playing some type of role? Where's your system of, like, coming in and, like, getting the star to buy in, and then the supporting cast in their own role?
Well, I think that, first of all, we talked about some of the pieces and all this stuff too, but, our guys coming off the bench, and I made a point to mention this last night after the game. There was a stretch where I thought where Paul, Pat Bev, and D-House, man, were just like, they were just tough. Like, they turned that game around with just three dudes out there fighting, man, and playing, and just super hard, just like we just weren't leaving without scoring, and they were just having to, we finally shut the water off on them on offense. I mean, they were flooding, gushing, whatever it was, and those guys, we stopped them and made a couple turnovers, and the biggest thing I think is most of our guys that are coming off the bench just play hard as hell. You know what I mean? They're tough. They're dogs. They play hard as hell, and that's like another wave of things. The team saying, "Oh, finally they're bringing their bench guys in," and they get hit hard by them. That to me is like that's awesome. Again, it's a spiritual part of. They think there's going to be a let up, and then it maybe goes up a notch or two with our just effort and energy level, and it's just been good. It's been good.
Yeah, gotta hold it down. I bet Fuller ain't out there.
That's right.
Those things go so underrated nowadays in this world of star basketball, and you're allocating a third of the cap to two guys or three guys. Like, go out there and hustle. Go out there and fight. And Paul's a prime example of this. Like, go out there. That's why Philadelphia loves him. He goes out there, he cleans up the glass. Paul's poking a ball away at half court, leading to a transition bucket. I just feel like those things don't get valued as much anymore, but I feel like they should. That's what brings teams together, kind of connects all the dots in a way. The Pat Bevs of the world, those are such important pieces on a championship team, especially one that's deep, goes into the playoffs, and like having that mental toughness.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I think it's a little bit like, I say this all the time, playing hard still goes a long way in this league, even though it's probably not going to be on ESPN highlights very often, right? The deep threes and the alley-oops and all that stuff, or the who's the best rookie and all, whatever it is all going to be on there. But it's 82 games, man. You got to come out punching for a lot of them if you want to win a lot of games, and we got a bunch of guys that fight, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a moment that I think usually fans look at teams and they say, like, that's a championship team. Is that how it goes within, like, from within the locker room? Is there ever maybe like preseason or training camp, or just at some point during a season where it just clicks and it's like, okay, like, this team is built for the long run. This team can do it. Man,
Coach already know what time it is with us. So I feel like, you feel me? We can get right. So that's, I can, you feel me, kind of answer for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, that's what like I'm focused on. I think for me, I was fortunate to like be in a bunch of leagues, like the D League. We had like, I don't know, when I was in it, like 16, 18 teams or something. And when you're in that league, you're thinking, okay, how are we going to figure out how to win this thing? Right. And when I was coaching in England, there was like 13 teams in our league. It's almost like a conference, and you're just sitting here thinking, there's got to be a way we can figure out how to get to the top of this thing. And I think it's the same, even though there's 30 teams, and winning that thing is hard, man. It's really hard. It's a long run. But I sit here and think, yeah, I mean, we had a lot, like I keep saying, we're just scratching the surface right now. We got like less than 50% of our defensive stuff in right now, and we got probably a little bit more than that offensively in, maybe 65. Like, there's a lot more building to come. I got to learn a lot more about these guys, but that's the kind of challenge of it. And if you can click off wins while you're doing that, we're still trying to learn each other, then that's usually a good sign.
Is there a certain point you think when, okay, this is the right time to go ahead and implement certain things? Do you do that strategically, like come into a season and not really reveal all your tricks in the bag?
Yeah, 100%. But it's not like you sit here and say, okay, November 1st, December 1st, we're doing the January, we're going to do that. It's more, happens a little more organically than that. Like, I don't know, we just all of a sudden see something in a game and we like realize, okay, like we were kind of prepared for that. And then after we see it at halftime or something, we'll go through it. And these guys are pretty sharp, and they'll go out there and take it to the court. An example, Toronto, the first game was doubling us from the baseline, and we hit them on that low cut like 3 times in a row for dunks, So then the next day we go to practice and show the film and go to do the drills, and now that part's in our, we got that in our arsenal. We know that part now, and that just kind of keeps happening more so on the defensive end. We're starting to really learn about the foundational stuff, but you still have to kind of see certain guys in the league, because like certain duos or certain guys this the only scheme that applies to them or something like that. So you got to actually see them, and then you kind of get that in your toolbox for later. So that stuff kind of keeps growing as you go.